anticipate that the strikes we're seeing this week against Iran will expand? Are you considering hitting energy targets or other locations inside of Iran?
I'll save the energy targets for last, but ultimately we'll hit energy targets, yeah. But we're going to hit them very hard tonight. We're going to hit them very hard tomorrow night. We're going to hit them very hard the night after. And then next week it gets really bad for them because next week comes the power plants. Next week comes the bridges.
For more, let's bring in Bloomberg Horizon's Middle East and Africa anchor, Abeer Abu Omar. From the President of the United States, we've had both escalation, we've had stepping back on some things, and we've had some threats into the future. Bring us up to speed this morning.
Good morning, Ollie. Yeah, it's all a little bit confusing. In the span of 24 hours, President Trump came out and said that he will reinstate the blockade on Iranian ports in the Strait of Hormuz. That has happened and is continuing to happen. And then he said that he will impose a 20% fee on all cargo ships that are non-Iranians going through the Strait of Hormuz, only to back out of that yesterday, saying actually he's not a fan of this fee and that he got pledges from Gulf Arab states in the GCC saying that they will make further investments in the United States if the president revokes that 20% fee. Now, our own sourcing, Ollie, suggests that at least one regional government in the region had not agreed to making further investments. Now, just bear in mind that only a couple of years ago when President Trump visited the GCC, those countries made pledges of hundreds of billions of dollars, if not even trillions at some point. And so at least one government is telling us that is not going to happen. In the meantime, the Strait of Hormuz, the traffic there is still at a trickle. We're seeing ships at a standstill at some points. Iran continuing its retaliation in the region, in Kuwait, in Bahrain. Kuwait, for example, reporting overnight that 4 naval personnel were injured. That follows attacks in the Strait of Hormuz, where Iran a couple of days ago hit 2 UAE flagged ships, killing 1 person, injuring several others. But at least for the time being, we know that this notion that was brought up by markets over and over about the taco trade or about President Trump going back on his words has returned. So the 20% fee is no longer going to happen. But we're also not clear if those investments will make their way through to the United States. And we all are keeping an eye out on whether the technical negotiations are set to continue. We have no clarity on whether those are expected to recommence. The expectation for the time being is that we're seeing this kinetic, this sort of kinetic back and forth coming back to the table, but the wider negotiations are still expected to be mediated by the likes of Qatar and Pakistan over the next few weeks. And we're keeping an eye out on the August 20th timeline that is approaching very fast, Ollie. That is the end of the 60-day negotiation period over the MOU that was signed in Switzerland. So markets are reacting a little bit more steadily towards the flood of news that we've been getting all week. Brent at around $85 a barrel, so a steadying in the action there.